Assalamu alaikum. I hope you would be listening to me. So let's start. So can you confirm that you can listen to me? Okay. So let's start. Today we have to do section B of October-November 2020, paper 2, variant 2. Question number 7. A bus leaves a bus stop at time t is equal to 0 and travels along a horizontal road until it reaches a second bus stop. Figure shows the distance time graph for the bus between time 0 to time 60 seconds. So here is the graph between distance and the time. Next it says the road on which the bus is traveling is straight except for a short curved section. So the all road is straight except for a short curved section. There comes a short curved section in its way. The bus travels around this circular curve between time 21 second and time 24 seconds. Describe how the motion of the bus between t is equal to 0 and t is equal to 10 second differs from its motion between time is equal to 35 second and t is equal to 40 seconds. So let's see the graph between time 0 to 10 seconds. You can see that this is increasing slope, and between 35 to 40 seconds it is decreasing slope. Slope at a distance time graph represents the speed. So between time 0 to 10 the speed increases, and between 35 to 40 seconds the speed decreases. So let's write the answer of it. Between time 0 to t is equal to 10 seconds, the speed of the bus increases from 0. We have mentioned it from 0 because initially it was at rest. At time is equal to 0 it was at rest, so we have written here from 0. If you don't write it you may lose 1 mark. Increases from 0. You can also further explain it, that is, it accelerates. Whereas between time 35 second to time 40 seconds, speed of the bus decreases till it becomes 0. So you must write here 1 mark will be of this one, and you have to write this 0 as well because 1 mark is of it. From 0 and becomes 0, 1 mark will be of this to state that it begins from 0 and it ends at 0. 1 mark will be the speed of the bus increases from in time 0 to time 10 seconds, and 1 mark will be of speed of the bus decreases. So if you write this answer, you will get whole 3 marks. Part B. Determine the maximum speed of the bus during these 60 seconds. Okay. So the maximum speed we will determine it from the graph. Between 0 to 10 seconds the speed increases, then it is constant. This straight line represents the constant speed, and then it starts to decrease. So the maximum speed is the speed which is shown by this straight line, which is the slope of this straight line. So you can have any 2 points from this straight line segment and you find the slope using those 2 points, and you will get the maximum speed of the bus. So let's take 2 points. Let's take for our ease 20 and it is 180 here, and here it is 20, and second one at 30 and 300. So we have gotten 2 points. One is 20 180 and the second one is 30 and 300. So we will get the speed, maximum speed will be equal to the slope. So slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, and that is equal to 300 minus 180 divided by 30 minus 20. If you calculate it, it will be 12. So our answer will be equal to 12 meter per second, because the distance is given in meter and time is given in seconds in the graph. So our answer will be in meters per second. In part 2 we have to find the average speed of the bus between leaving the first bus stop and arriving at the second bus stop. Now again let's go back to the graph. The train leaves the station at time 0 second. This is the point at which the train leaves the station, and the train arrives the station at this point. It is between 39 to 40 seconds, or you can say around 40 seconds. That 40 second it arrives. ये आपके पास डिस्टेंस स्ट्रेट लाइन आ रही है, ये तो वहाँ पर रुक गई हुई है, उसके बाद भी टाइम पास कर रहा है. This is the key point in this question, that you have to take this point as the final point when the train arrives at the station. So आपके पास यहाँ पे जो टाइम आ रहा है, टोटल टाइम, that is 40 minus 0, it is 40 seconds, and the distance is from the y-axis, it is this point, that is 390 meters. So from this we can easily calculate the average speed. So the average speed will be equal to total distance divided by total time. The distance we have seen from the graph is 390 meters, and the total time is 40. You can take any value between 39 to 40 because from the graph it is not clearly visible. It is in between 39 to 40, and if you calculate it, (390) divided by 40, 9.75. So the average speed is 9.75 meter per second. Okay, part C1, state how velocity differs from speed. So anybody of you, can you tell me in the chat how velocity differs from speed? I am waiting for your response. Anybody who can tell me the difference between velocity and speed? So there is no response. Okay, this is pretty easy. Velocity has magnitude as well as direction, whereas speed has only magnitude. So this is the difference, and it's okay. Now part 2. There are 3 periods during the 60 seconds when there is a non-zero resultant force acting on the bus. Complete the statements to indicate these 3 time periods and state the direction of the resultant force in that period. Okay, let's go back to the graph to solve this question. Okay, you know, when there is a resultant force, there is acceleration. तो यहाँ पर when there is acceleration, it means its speed is changing. So यहाँ पर अगर आप देखें तो between time 0 to 10 seconds, speed is changing, speed is increasing as we have done in the part 1. So from 0 to 10 seconds, there is acceleration, there is a resultant force, और जो resultant force होगी उसकी direction क्या होगी? In the direction of the movement, because speed is increasing. On the other hand, from 35 to 40 seconds, speed is decreasing. Again, there will be a resultant force, but here the direction of force will be opposite to the direction of force, because here the speed is being decreased. Now, where is the third time in which there is a resultant force? You can't have that time from this graph. Now let's see here. Circular curve between time 21 second and time 24 seconds. अब जब circular curve आ रही है, so let me draw it. If suppose this is a straight path and this is a short circular curve from 21 seconds to 24 seconds. When the bus will move along this circular path, there will be a resultant force, because although its speed is constant, but its velocity is changing because its direction is changing. So आपने सर्कुलर मोशन जो स्टडी किया था उसके अंदर आपने स्टडी किया होगा कि जब सर्कुलर मोशन होती है तो देयर इज अ रिजल्टेंट फोर्स whose direction is towards the center of the circle. So इसकी direction जो होगी वो towards the center होगी, और we can also say that its direction will be perpendicular to the direction of motion, because at this point इसकी direction इधर होगी तो it will be perpendicular to the direction of motion. So from here we can write the answer between 0 seconds and 10 seconds, the direction of the resultant force is in the direction of motion. Second one is from 21 seconds and 24 seconds, and direction of resultant force is perpendicular to the direction of motion. You can also write that it is direction is towards the center of the curved section. And part 3 is between time 35 seconds to 40 seconds, and the direction of the resultant force is opposite to the direction of motion. Okay, part D. During the journey, the air resistance acting on the bus varies. State why the air resistance changes during the journey. So can anybody tell me the reason in the chat? I want you to be interactive, क्योंकि इस तरह आप भी बोर हो जाएंगे और मैं भी हो जाऊंगा. So please be interactive. Use the option of live chat and tell me the reason of increasing air resistance, not increasing, changing of air resistance during the journey. I don't know why you people don't use the option of live chat. Okay, so air resistance depends upon the speed. The more the speed, the more will be the air resistance. So आपने ग्राफ में भी देखा कि उसकी स्पीड चेंज हो रही है. At first it increases, then it becomes constant and then it decreases. So जब स्पीड चेंज हो रही है तो एयर रेजिस्टेंस भी चेंज होगी. So you can easily write this because speed of the bus changes. That's it. Part 2. On figure 7.1, mark and label with an M a time when the air resistance is a maximum value. So air resistance will be maximum when the speed of the bus is maximum. And we saw that the speed of the bus is maximum during the straight line segment on the graph. It corresponds to the straight line segment on the graph. Okay, I've got a message that can we do ATP next time. So I am receiving requests for ATP, so I'll definitely consider that. And you will get notification, not notification, but I will schedule for ATP, so you will know from there that we are going to discuss ATP. So this is a straight line segment and you can mark anywhere. Suppose we mark here and we have to mark the time, so we will draw line, dashed line, and we will mark here M. So this is answer of the question. Okay, the next question, question number 8. A thin converging lens is made of a transparent material of refractive index 1.4. A ray of light traveling in air strikes the surface of the lens at an angle of incidence of 55 degree. Calculate the angle of refraction. So we are given refractive index, we are given angle of incidence, and we are given the fact that light is traveling in air and it strikes the surface of the lens. So whenever light travels from air or vacuum to an optically denser medium, then we know that sine of I over sine of R is equal to refractive index of that material. So we will just write here sine of 55 degree as it is given here divided by sine of R. We have to find R is equal to 1.4. This implies that sine of R will be equal to, let's calculate sine of 55. It is 0.8192 divided by 1.4. So R will be equal to sine inverse 0.8192 over 1.4. So let's calculate it. It's come out to be 35.8 degree. Okay, place a tick in one of the boxes in the third column of table 8.1 to indicate how the light ray deviates and what happens to the speed of the light in the ray as it enters the lens. So now I would like you to tell me that one of the boxes, इसके अंदर जो एक बहुत बड़ी मिस्टेक की थी स्टूडेंट्स ने वो ये की थी कि उन्होंने एक से ज़्यादा बॉक्सेस में टिक लगा दिया था. तो आपने वन ऑफ द बॉक्सेस बताना है मुझे जिसके अंदर हमने टिक लगाना है. What happens when the light ray deviates and what happens to the speed of the light as it enters the lens? So yes, please tell me. I don't know why I don't get any response when I ask some question to you. वैसे तो आपकी चैट के अंदर मैसेजेस आ रहे हैं. Nobody? Okay, so it is the fourth one because it is going from optically rare medium to optically denser medium. Okay, towards normal decrease. Yes, okay, that's good. Speed decreases. Good. I think there is some lag as well. Okay, part 3. State what happens to the frequency of the light in the ray as it enters the class. Okay, come on, tell me the reason. Frequency of the light. Burhan, I can see your messages and I am asking you what happens to the frequency of the light. Okay, frequency decreases as speed decreases. No, frequency does not decrease as speed decreases. V is equal to f lambda. Now whenever velocity changes, if here in this case velocity is decreasing, so whenever velocity decreases, it is the wavelength that is decreases. Frequency remains constant. Frequency does not change when velocity changes. Frequency depends upon the source. Source is same. तो जब ये लाइट ऑप्टिकली रेयरर मीडियम से ऑप्टिकली डेंसर मीडियम में जाएगी या ऑप्टिकली डेंसर मीडियम से ऑप्टिकली रेयरर मीडियम में जाएगी, its velocity and wavelength will be changed, but its frequency will remain constant. So its answer is frequency remains constant. Okay, the focal length of the lens is 2.5 centimeter. State what is meant by focal length. So focal length is the distance between optical center and focal point. Okay, so I hope I am back. Okay, so first of all we have to find the focal point. Focal length is given as 2.5 centimeters, and 1 centimeter is represented by 1 2 3 4 5 boxes. So for 2.5 centimeter we will need 5 and 5 10 and 12.5 boxes. So let's count them: 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. This will be the focal point. Let me erase all these things. Oh. Okay. Now we have to draw straight lines. We can draw any two straight lines. So here is a ruler, and first line we will draw will be from here to here to the lens, and this ray will go from here to focal point. Oh, इसका तो 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. This will be the focal point. So let me erase this one. And then we will draw a line from here to here through the focal point. Let's mark it F as well. Another line will be drawn through the optical center, straight through the optical center. Would be like this, and that's it. And here you will get the image I. Let me draw it at 89 degree in order to save time. So it will be from here to here. So this will be the image. And you have to draw the arrows as well, so that it is clear that light is going from object. So we have located and marked the image I of the O. Determine the distance of I from the lens and calculate the magnification of O produced by the lens. So the distance of I from O. So let's calculate the number of boxes. This was 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 and a half. So 17 and a half boxes. Divide करते हैं अगर हम इसको 5 से, because there are 5 boxes in 1 centimeter. So it comes 3.5 centimeter. Now magnification. To calculate the magnification, we need to know the height of the image. Height of the image is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and it is about 5.5. इसके अंदर थोड़ी सी एक्यूरेसी नहीं आई हुई, इसलिए थोड़ा सा इसका आंसर डिफरेंट आ सकता है। सो 5.5 डिवाइडेड बाय, अब इसके दो मेथड हैं। नंबर एक, इसको आप पहले कन्वर्ट कर लें सेंटीमीटर, उसके बाद 2.5 सेंटीमीटर से डिवाइड कर दें, या मैं यहाँ पे डायरेक्टली इसको डिवाइड करने लगा हूँ इससे, विच इज़ ओके 3 सेंटीमीटर। तो 3 सेंटीमीटर मीन्स 15। Let me check the answer of it. 0.37. Yes, okay. Its answer, my answer is coming 0.37, and its answer from 0.37 to 0.4 is acceptable. Okay, describe how a converging lens is used in a camera. So you have studied it in your course. आपने वहाँ से simply यहाँ पे write कर देना है कैसे use होता है. There is nothing difficult in this, so let's skip this. Question number 9. Figure shows a permanent magnet lying on a piece of paper. Underline the material in the list from which it is possible to make a strong permanent magnet. So if there is anybody who can tell me which material will make a strong permanent magnet. It is steel. Describe an experiment to plot the pattern and the direction of the magnetic field surrounding the magnet. So this is, again, you have studied it in your course. आपने simply जो आपने पढ़ा हुआ है वो यहाँ पर लिख देना है. There is nothing difficult in this question as well. It is just your memorization and your concepts. Okay, figure shows the north pole of the magnet placed in front of south pole of a second magnet. A section of horizontal metal wire JK lies in the magnetic field between the two magnetic poles, and K of the metal wire is connected to the positive terminal of the battery, and J is connected to the negative terminal. Explain in terms of electrons why there is a current in the wire and state the direction of the. So you have to explain in terms of why there is current in the wire. Is there the part of Jk that is in the magnetic field experiences a force F. State the direction of F and describe how this direction is deduced. So you have to use the Fleming's left hand rule, and when you use Fleming's left hand rule you will find that its direction is downwards. The force will be acting in the downward direction, so you will just write that its direction is downwards and you will state the Fleming's left hand rule in this question. Now let's move on to the next one. The equipment is used in a similar experiment. The part of JK that lies between the poles of the magnets now is fixed in position. The tube is shown in figure 9. JK is connected to the battery in the same way as before. सब कुछ सेम है, बस आपने आयरन ट्यूब दरमियान में इंट्रोड्यूस करवा दी है. Explain your answer. The force becomes zero. Why does it become zero? Because it is magnetically screened. यहाँ पर जो हमने आयरन की ट्यूब इंट्रोड्यूस करवाई है उसकी वजह से इसने मैग्नेटिक स्क्रीनिंग कर दी है. So the force becomes zero because wire is magnetically screened by the iron tube. The iron tube and the wire JK are removed. A square vertical coil is placed between the poles so that the plane of the coil lies in the magnetic field. Explain why the coil tries to rotate when there is a current in the coil. So the you have studied it as well. There will be current in the opposite directions of this vertical sides. Say for example, if the current is in this direction in this side, then it will be in this direction on the opposite side. So when it is in the opposite side, the forces acting on these sides will be also in the opposite direction. This will form a couple and this coil will tend to rotate. So you will write it here, and this is the last question. So let me finish this video here, and if you have any suggestions, any comments, and tell me in the live chat so that your learning experience can be enhanced. I know there is some problem दरमियान में कभी